Welcome to Africa's first ROG arena. Woo!
And we are back, folks, and just a week later, after an insane race at Laguna Seca, we are here at Spa-Francorchamps for the Mercedes-Benz ATK Pro Series 2022. And if you look down on your screen, ignore the guy on the right-hand side. We'll get to him in a moment. But let's first talk about those sponsors at the bottom there. Without them, none of this would have been possible. But Dan, I've got to say, you kind of make this special as well. My name is Ernest Page, joined, of course, by Daniel Haynes. Dan, how's it going?
I got like a complete diss followed by a compliment within seconds of each other. I would expect no other. Ernest, I'm glad to be here, and it's at Spa. What a classic. I mean, you cannot miss Spa. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. I think we're going to see loads of action on track. It'll be a completely different affair to what we had last weekend at Laguna Seca, where Qualifying was so important. This time it's all about the race. So 60-minute sprints, strap yourself in.
I love how you place that because qualifying is so important. It's usually one of those circuits where no overtaking happens, kind of like Monaco. And we saw that last week, even though the drivers put in their best efforts. You were right, overtaking was not going to happen. But this circuit here, this is a totally different story. And we've got a whole bunch of names that have returned.
Yes, some of the big guys that were in round one took a drop round in round two for various reasons, load shedding for South Africans, and then Silverstone probably being the big cause of a few drops in round two for the last time. But here, round three, we've got some names back, some epic battles we saw. So Savalainen and Ogorognikov, remember those guys in round one? Guess where they're currently sitting? Side by side in qualifying on the server right now. So there we could get some fun between those two once again. Zayaressa as well is trying to get back onto the top spot. That wasn't the case. He missed out on a podium, if you remember, at Laguna Seca round two, which was a bit of a surprise. So yeah, a lot to play for here at Spa. It's going to be a really good one.
It's going to be a really good one. And as we mentioned, there are a few other names here today. Some names that were not as competitive last time. Some names that were not present last time. Savalainen is back. I was hoping Boothby would be back as well. He is entered, but we're going to have to wait and see about that. Morgan McCall in the mix there. Prince KB also back this time. But right at the top, Zahir Essa will be back and happy to be back in first place. He got fourth place last time, now currently in first position in this qualifying session. Spears, I apologize, Harry in second place. And from what we've heard, Harry Spears has found an incredible turn of speed in this round.
Oh, you got some inside information. Well, we look forward to hearing some of that. I'm like, I've got to be impartial, haven't it? But it has become you supporting the staffers and me supporting everyone else.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
Let's just keep it going. Here we have the championship standings, and we have a Brit on top with 199 points, and Harry Spears. He won in round two, and he was a podium in round one. That's what gets you on the top. Consistency. Zayaressa is not far behind, though. 196 points in second place, and another fellow teammate in Tariq Adams in third place. So very close between the South African drivers.
Philip Minnaar in fourth place over there. And Philip Minnaar is definitely one of those guys that has now cemented himself as a contender in this championship, and someone that wasn't quite as well known as some of the other names here. Simone Iezzi, of course, our Italian stallion over there in fifth position, and Appel in sixth place. Schaefer, someone, if you look up his history, you'll expect to see him a little bit further up the order. So same with Bauer as well. So these are guys that aren't necessarily showing the exact results that they usually get, but we'll see more action later on. But what we will also see later on in the season is that dropped round coming into effect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got the likes. You look down on that list, we had George Boothby with 99 points, but obviously he only took place in one event and won it. So if he does get back onto the server and he carries on, then he's definitely still in the running. People will be eking their way into this championship, and now we get to a very, very familiar track in Spa-Francorchamps. I think it could mix it up a bit. People, I mean, sim racers lap this place. They do thousands. I've done thousands of laps here.
Exactly.
And most of these guys would have done as well.
Exactly. So it's not as tricky to learn as Laguna Seca, which is a very technical circuit and a difficult circuit to get the most out of at the best of times. So this is more on the calendar. These drivers will be having spent time here for various championships. So we expect to see more of them on the circuit. Couple of familiar names over there. Aldo Bellingen on that list over there, but unfortunately no points as yet. Ricardo Mecking also back today, currently in 17th position in on the qualifying. Leon Leroux in the mix as well. Corne Strauss currently 18th position in qualifying and 30th position on that standings over there. And one of the names that we said to look out for also, Tian Elof. Hopefully he can find a little bit more speed today, but I don't see him on the server just yet.
Yeah, so I think it's probably time to take us into that qualifying. Obviously, these guys have been going around in the meantime, and we've still got 14 minutes left of qualifying. Here it is coming up on the screen. Zayaressa in provisional pole right now, but we've seen those times in the first two rounds. We've seen someone pit them right at the death as we get a bit of track progression. So you're never safe. You've got to keep out there lapping, but he's got over a tenth, which is It's a good start for Zyressa with just under 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, we've got on screen now with Spires, Race Anywhere car over there. The number 285 car over there is Spires, and he's currently in 4th position, but he's got about a 10th of a second up as he goes into the final bus stop chicane over here. And this, of course, will be the start line later on. They'll start over here, but end around the corner, Dan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's where you can get caught out because it's the endurance race, endurance pit lane. So they've got 2 pit lanes here at Spa, and they use both of them. So it's one hell of a long run through the pit lane. So you don't want to be doing it basically in a 60-minute sprint. But there will be something that I'm going to put my name out there straight away and say some people will be going through that pit lane, and it will be that dreaded track limits. That's what we've got to watch out for. It's an issue here. We didn't have it at Laguna Seca. We had a few penalties for track limits in round 1, but it's an issue here at Spa. So easy to clock those off tracks. Pouillon is the big culprit. Run wide there, you'll get an off track, and there's several other corners.
So many, and because the circuit is designed in such a way that you can cut those curbs, you can run ultra wide over there on the start line. Somebody comes to a halt. That's Ogrodnikov who just took pole. Ogrodnikov jumps to the top of the standings, crosses the line. Appel in 3rd place. Here now Issa in 2nd place, and Spears in 4th position. So Ogrodnikov, a name that we knew we'd have to remember, is now currently at the top spot.
We've been practicing it, obviously.
Oh, yes.
But that come from nowhere, eh? He was like in 8th position, shot himself straight to the top. But look how close it is from Essa, though. 15/100ths of a second between the two.
100%, and I think Spires will also be one of those guys to watch. But yeah, Ogrodnikov, we specifically saw his pace, and we both agreed that we're going to have to remember this guy's name because we might have to say it over and over. But now we got the hang of the Ogrodnikovs, the Ovalainens, and of course the Cars that Zere car as he comes under the camera over there. That's Zahir Essa to start another lap.
Yeah, he'll be keen to get that cars.co.za Mercedes-Benz AMG onto a podium. I mean, his sponsors will demand it.
Yeah, indeed. And he's one of the first drivers here today to have those sponsors. And for the other drivers out there, please send us any sponsor list. We'll name what we can see on the cars. But if you've got any sponsors that you want to shout out to, please send them to us in Discord. I'll be more than willing to mention the names here and there where we can. As you see, the Race Anywhere number 285 car, Harry Spires, once again go through Spears. I need to get that name.
Spears, yeah. Spears.
Saying
Spears. Yeah. Britney Spears. He told me it's Britney Spears.
That's how I used to remember it. But yeah, Hit Me Baby One More Time is not on my playlist anymore. But
it's been a while. That used to be your favorite.
I know, right? I know. 17-year-old me loved that song. I mean, which 17-year-old didn't, though? Which 17-year-old didn't?
Just a warning, I think Ernest has had a little bit too much sugar today watching the F1. So let's get back to the racing, guys. Zyressa is now in 3rd position because Spears has shoved it on provisional pole. So everyone's fighting for it. And as we saw in the first 2 rounds, track progression is a thing. People are improving their times as we go on. 10 minutes to go.
10 minutes to go, and as we hunt through the list, I see Burrows in 9th position over there, is currently up on his sector. Prince KB at the moment, not so much so. A little bit down there. Leon Leroux in 21st position, down. Morgan McCall on a track with a lap at the moment where he's gone over the track with an invalidated lap. Tariq Adam also on an invalidated lap at the moment, but maybe that's a out lap. So the guys are still pushing with a few more minutes to go. Still 10 minutes to go. Ogrodnikov up at the moment at 1/10 of a second. So it's a battle out there at the moment, Dan. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And all you can do is just keep going around, haven't you? And if you've got a bit of track progression, the only way you know about it is if you're on the track. So they've just got to go round and round and round. Everyone will be familiar on this. I'm just actually, whilst you're chat, I'm going back. I'm wondering whether David Perel still has the track record here, but he set an absolute blistering one on his debut in the Ferrari.
24, wasn't it? Oh,
it's unbelievable. 24. Yeah, fantastic lap that was. So
the fastest ever lap in a GT3 car at the time, if I remember correctly.
And he didn't even really have a seat either, did he? So he just plonked in it, and then he just did it. It was if you ever get a chance, ride on board and watch that lap. It's a fantastic lap. It's on YouTube. Just search it, David Perel. But I'm not sure whether he still holds it. But there's some Saffers have got strong form here at Spa. So Spears, watch out, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What you're saying is...
Go Spears!
Yeah, exactly. Whipping out the pom-poms here. But what I'm saying is that Ragnikov and Spears have something to worry about, but at the moment, not so much. 1/10 of a second down is Issa in third place. Joris, they're in fourth position. So Verlainen in fifth. So the top five is a juicy South African sandwich with Zahir Issa squeezed in the middle.
Yeah, it's going to be close in the race. There'll be lots of passing opportunities. Obviously, at the end of the Camel Straight into Lecombe, you're going to get in there. The bus stop chicane, we're going to see action there always. I'm not sure whether it's called the bus stop these days since they redid it. But yeah, just remember that La Source is not turn one. It's the final corner in the GT3 layout. So if you're coming from Formula One, you go past the pit lane and you've got to go through another one. So it's a massive, massive long. When they use both pit lanes, it takes such a long time to go through there. So I can't emphasize enough how much these guys will want to avoid doing just that.
Yeah, exactly. It's an extremely long pit lane. And when we had pit stops in there before, it was so difficult to work out exactly where these guys were in relation to their compatriots when they wanted to pull those pit stops. Joris Appel currently still in fourth position. But if I'm looking at the track map over here, I mean, there are so many corners, 20 to be exact. And these drivers have to navigate them as weirdly though, Radion is seen as 3 corners in one. But when you see drivers get that wrong, you kind of start to understand why it's seen that way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that whole section is going to be interesting because obviously they've just remodeled it, haven't they? So when we go back to the Spa GP, which is after the summer break, I think it's in August when F1 goes there. That'll be when it really gets showed off, that new layout. They haven't changed the corner, but they've just opened it up and they've bought that cottage that was on the side of the track and demolished it, basically. Ploughed it to get a bit more runoff. So thankfully, they kept Eau Rouge as we know and love it, which would be, well, that's what everyone wanted because such an epic corner.
Yeah, it's such an epic corner, the most epic corner. I mean, we've all seen those footage, the footage of the guys going through there as fast as possible. And just incredible stuff. A 2:16.7 there for Zahir Issa. He's got to beat a 2:16.602 at this stage with Ragnikov. Just 9/100ths of a second further back from first position. Issa now in third place. Joris Appel still there in third position. So Verlainen still in fifth. And our podium man, Tariq Adam, there in sixth place at the moment. Philip Minnaar, our second place man from the previous race, in eighth position now. And Dan, doesn't that just show you exactly how competitive this race is going to be if our second place and third place guys are down in seventh and eighth positions at the moment?
Yeah, it was pretty stacked, wasn't it? It's pretty stacked at the top, and I'm just looking very carefully at Zahir's delta. He was a 10th up as he went through Blanchimont, or as he's coming through Blanchimont now, but it's level on his delta. But he doesn't even need a 10th to get up onto the upper place, does he? He can go into second place here, even with not showing anything. He's a 10th up now. He's going through the bus stop chicane. Zahir Issa, he lost a 10th on the exit, though.
He lost it. He lost the whole thing.
I think he's not improved. He had it that lap, so he will regroup and try again. 5 minutes, plenty of time to go. And I mean, the weather looks marvelous for Spa, I have to say. I mean, this is a place where you go expecting the odd shower. I'm not going to try and jinx it too much for these guys, but I mean, it's looking nice and sunny out there.
It's looking fantastically sunny out there, but anything can happen. Hopefully, no rain at Spa. We've seen the kind of incidents that take place with the rain at Spa. As I'm watching Zahir Issa here through Eau Rouge, he climbs that curb massively and still doesn't get a penalty, though. But at the moment,
you can. I mean, your tactic through Eau Rouge Radion is just to literally try and straight line it, turn those 3 corners into one. You can get away. You can get away with quite a lot there. It's got a massive amount of curbs on the left-hand side, so you go right onto the left.
Yes, that's what I saw. Yeah.
On the top, you can just basically just go keep as long as you keep your outside tyres touching the line, it's fair game in every sim. So yeah, you really take the mick, to be honest, through there, and you sort of have to, because it's so important to carry as much speed up the Camel Straight, otherwise you're just a sitting duck.
Ragnikov was up 2/10 of a second, so he's clearly got the pace in him with 4 minutes to go, but he's lost that time again. Other drivers, Issa currently level, Ietzi level as well. up is 7th place man Tariq Adam, who's almost 3/10 of a second up at the moment in 7th position. So he's definitely one of the guys to watch at the moment. Joris Appel on an invalidated lap right now. So I think Tariq Adam might be one of those drivers that's going to jump up. Burrows in 10th position, also quite far up. But let's keep an eye on Adam to see where he goes after the completion of this lap. He's currently in 7th place.
Yeah, some frantic people moving around all over the place. I've been told that actually for this race in ACC, the finish line is after the bus stop, but the start is after Le Source. So yeah, it's back to GP finish. Very different from iRacing that has anything in a GT car round the corner. So just so we get the finish, because that was a mistake. You never quite know what layout's used. And I'm sure ACC will get an update with Spa with the new layout very shortly. It'll probably be this year, I'd imagine, because every sim will want to be racing to get the latest version of Spa with that new section through Eau Rouge.
I've got my notes over here saying the start line is around the corner before Eau Rouge. That's right. So that's where. So it will be, if we look at our screens over here, it will be right there. That's the start line at this stage, as if I'm not mistaken. So they'll be going downhill and starting the race like that, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, some cars will be starting before La Source, won't they? So that's the way it goes. You're all the way up round the corner with a long enough. I'm not sure we've got quite a big enough entrance here, but obviously when on a normal endurance race, the cars go all the way around and end up sort of stacking almost up to the bus stop. It's that far when you go through a normal Spa 24 with 50 odd cars on the grid. Great, by the way, if you do a 24 hours here, it is good. I've done a GT3 24-hour race here. It's epic fun.
An actual 24-hour race or a sped-up 24-hour race?
No, it's full 24-hour race. Sleeping next to your rig, that sort of thing, yeah.
Jeez, Ietzi up 0.2 of a second at the moment with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go. Zahir Issa up to 3rd place. Ogrodnikov in 2nd. Spears in 1st place. Joris Appel in 4th. Ietzi now looks like he could be the one to usurp quite a few of these guys. He could actually get to 2nd position if he just manages to maintain this pace. It's so difficult, so many corners. All it takes is one teeny tiny mistake, a little bit of a dab on the brakes. So you can see the left foot braking from Ietzi. Clearly he's got the skill to do it, but can he complete this lap? I think he's got Essa up front, up ahead of him over there, but Simone Ietzi from Racing Point is on a charge at the moment and still up on his delta.
Yeah, he's flicking between 1 and 2 tenths up. Zairs in front of him, it's also a 10th up on his delta. There's a lot of green on my leaderboard right now. There's some guys that are going to be moving up. Matthews Watson is like way up. Oh no, he's dropped it. So yeah, Ietzi is the one you're looking at. He's carrying this 10th all the way through to the end, hopefully. Zairs is 2 tenths up, but he's only halfway through his lap.
Here we go. Zahir Issa about to cross the line. Zahir Issa about to cross the line. He goes 2nd position. Ietzi in 5th. Ietzi across the line, goes 4th. So Ietzi gets 4th place. Issa gets 2nd. And we've only got 33 seconds left, Dan.
Yeah, Sovalainen's 3 tenths up. So everyone's improving right now. Essa's starting another lap and is a 10th up early on. So yeah, track progression is a massive thing, as we've seen in the previous 2 rounds as well. Everyone fighting for this pole position right at the death. Spears, however, sitting in the pit lane, sitting pretty not so sure. He is sitting in the pit lane, however, waiting for all the action to finish up here. And also interesting to see all the way down the order, some of our drivers that did exceptionally well. Philip Minard in 10th place at the moment, if you can believe it. But currently Spears still in 1st place. We're now on board with Yuna Sovalainen, the getting slower everyday team. I don't think that's an accurate statement, though. Yeah, I like that, though. That's good. That's a good team name. He's 2 tenths up on his delta, so certainly not slower. He's getting quicker as the time goes on. And this is his last chance saloon here. He wants to get up with his Russian pal in 3rd place, because he's destined to race side by side with him.
Issa goes red. Sorry, Dan. Sorry to jump in there. Issa was way up. He went red. He was a 10th of a second up, was Issa, and he went red on that lap. So
where's Sovalainen, though? Where's Sovalainen going to go?
Sovalainen 6th. Sovalainen goes 5th. Sovalainen goes 5th. Sovalainen goes 5th, Dan. But
I'm still showing Essa a 10th up. No, yeah. It's finished.
Oh my goodness, it's done. The guys are still driving, but it doesn't look like anybody's going to be changing much. Issa was up, Ogrodnikov still up, but they didn't manage to complete their laps. What an exciting qualifying. And I cannot believe that we saw so many guys shuffling position. So far, Spears is still first. Issa is still second position. Ogorognikov still third. There's still a lot of wait time left on my screen over here, but I don't think anybody's going to be changing any positions just yet as the flags start coming out. But Dan, we're going to be going to a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to jump straight into it with this round 3. Yeah, it's Spa-Francorchamps, the Mercedes-Benz ATK Pro Series 2022. We'll be back after these. We'll see you shortly. Well, there you have it, Dan the man. Harry Spears in first position. There's Zaire Issa on the front row of the grid. He'll be happy with that. I'm sure Ogorognikov gets third place. Ietzi gets fourth. Silverline in fifth. Joris Sapel in sixth place over there. Burrows, followed by Adam, followed by Schaefer, followed by Minard. And let's not forget further down, we've got in 19th place Mecking, who put a good showing for himself in round 1. Koos, Jacobs, KB in 16th, Gooden in 15th position, and McCall, our man from ATK, in 13th position. What a changing of the guard here, as these drivers now find themselves in very much different positions on the grid, Dan.
Yeah, but it's Harry Spears who's come to play here at ATK, hasn't he? Because he took a very good win last time round, and he's on pole. So, I mean, our championship leader is currently leading. What a start. Like we said, it's not incredibly vital. Starting from second here, not a bad thing, to be honest. Zaire will want to tuck himself behind, up that long drag, through the camel straight for the first time, try and sneak up the inside. So watch out, turn 7.
Yeah, I think that Issa is going to want to make sure he gets past. We saw once Spears gets up ahead, it's very difficult. Spears gets up ahead, it's very difficult to catch him. It's very difficult to catch any of these guys, in fact, because the consistency is so on point. So I think that Zaire Issa is going to want to make that move as soon as possible. Maybe at the top of the hill into the right-hander. That's usually a good overtaking spot for second or third place man to make their move.
Yeah, 100%. Starting from second is not a bad place at all. So it's going to be all action. Obviously, we don't have the nightmare is that turn 1 La Source with them doing a rolling start through the endurance line. And yeah, so the first braking zone, the first action we're going to see is the first time they go through Le Combs in turn 7.
Yeah, turn 7, as you mentioned, the big braking zone over there. And these drivers, they know the circuit exceptionally well. I suspect that all these drivers know every single section over here. And like you say, Le Combe, that complex set of corners, 7, 8, and 9. And then towards the downhill of turn 10, the tight and long right-hander into turn 11 over there. Many overtaking opportunities here for the brave, Dan. Isn't that the case?
Yeah, there is, and you get rewarded for good driving, though, and that's what a great circuit is, isn't it? So you've got to be brave on the brakes, but, I mean, there's opportunities all over this circuit, and we're going to see plenty of it. It's going to be a little bit more like round 1 at Kailami. There's going to be passes everywhere, but obviously at the end of the long straight and after Blanchimont into the chicane as well.
Yeah, you were talking about Le Combe earlier on, and a good braking zone. Isn't just incredible to watch a car brake on an uphill section, as we now cut to the camera over here. That's your 29 car over there on the right-hand side, and we're doing our little pit walk over here, and these cars just look incredible at the moment as they're still jacked up, ready to go. Oh, there go the jacks now, and the drivers now will start to get their cars ready. The tires start cooling down, and they're going to try and make their way and get ready for that warm-up lap, lap number 1, and then over the finish line for the hard charge. Try and see who will be the winner here at round 3.
God, session starts in 40 seconds and there's still some of these cars jacked up. That's some last-minute setup changes here. Don't get caught out, guys. I don't know what they're changing so late in the day, but just fiddling with their tyre presses, looking at the temperatures that have been and the forecast of the weather for the last 30 minutes. They're just adjusting, but they're still adjusting with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, Philip now drops his car there. Voss on the left-hand side does the same. Barkhuizen now getting ready for action on the right-hand side of your screen over there, the SIDA car. And then behind that, that is Morgan McCall on the left-hand side of your screen there, if I'm not mistaken, in the 19 car. That is him. Deploy on the right-hand side of your screen there in the number 95 car, also getting ready for action as Gooden further back, KB, Jacobs, Host, Becking, Strauss all start getting their heads in the game for the start of this round 3 at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, and it's a very long formation lap, so you do as much as you can within the limits of the game to get your car in its optimal position, tyres in their perfect temperatures, but yeah, it's a long way round before you actually start racing here, so nerves start to mount.
Yeah, it's definitely a long way down. We've got lots of time now to watch these guys get into formation. The first time they're going through Eau Rouge, the nervousness starts set in, especially for the guys in front. The guys at the back, Wentworth, as we see him bringing up the rear over there, will be having a determined look on his face. But the rest of the guys further in the front will need to separate themselves from the field as we watch the crowd watch on. We've got Spears on your screen over there, the Race Anywhere car, number 285. And we've now got on board with Algorognikov for that fantastic chopper cam, the heli cam view over there, synonymous with all sorts of motorsport. Yeah, it really does just make the circuit look extra cool between the forest as the guys thread their way at the top of the hill now.
Yeah, it's an epic one. If you get a chance to go there, it's you've got to take it. It's such a fantastic, well-known, and it's not actually on the schedule for F1 next year, which would be a crying shame. I hope it's just a bit of negotiation tactics between Liberty Media and the track as they negotiate a contract. But at the moment, it's not there. I can't believe we would lose it though. It's such a stalwart on the calendar. It's
so weird because, as you know, South Africa, of course, fighting for that position as well. And yeah, it would be quite strange and a bittersweet.
Yeah, we want it, but we don't want it to be taken away from Spa, do we? But
yeah, I mean, we get rid of one of the other lame-o tracks. What? Any other lame-o track? There's so many to choose from, but not this one.
No, this is one that, I mean, this is up there with sort of Monza and Silverstone. We've got to hang around for a bit. We enjoy it too much.
Yeah, indeed. I'm busy setting up my camera views over here, getting ready for the start of the race. But sheesh, this is going to be an insane race. I think we are in for a cracker of a race here, Dan.
Yeah, so we're looking at Zaya Esser for this first lap. That's the person in the cars.co.za car behind him, livery, behind Harry Spears in first place. He's going to want to try and tuck himself as close as he possibly can behind Spears and get that long drag before they get into their first braking zone. Arguably his best passing opportunity. Vital. He's certainly going to want to try and give it everything, but he's going to be watching people behind. So this first braking zone is going to be a big one, and that's why we want to stick with Helicam just for a little while, especially through that section.
Yeah, especially through this section over here, and just look at the forests lining the section on either side. Appel further back in sixth place over there, currently 7th on the track. So Valainen in sixth place on track at the moment, but he's 4th there. Looks like it in the on the screen on our screen over here. It's quite strange. I'm trying to get Spy is currently looking 2nd on my screen. I'm not quite sure what's going on my in-game here, but there must be a problem.
Yeah, ignore that until they go through the first sector. Just keep an eye on your tally. We've got a few guys joining us in YouTube chat, so welcome. Finally got some chats. We've got some Harry Spears fans there, apparently.
Oh, so is it?
Someone already shouting his name. We haven't even started.
So are they joining you on the side of the track with the...
The Brits come out to play here at Spa-Francorchamps, and Harry Spears is currently topping the leaderboard as we go towards the end of this formation lap coming into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, so they're lining up double now, but they still need to go through the chicane, around the next corner, and then start the race. It's quite a strange setup, but that's what it is. They're going to be starting in that downhill section. To me, as a safety officer, I would say that's a terrible idea. But here we go either way. Here we go either way.
You don't want 30-odd GT3 cars piling into La Source Turn 1 here, because that's why they make you go around the corner, basically.
I know.
A little bit cleaner.
It's a little bit cleaner, I would imagine. Yeah, but Eau Rouge, man, come on. What is that? Are we taking crazy pulls here? But this is what's happening, and this is what makes motorsport exciting. Certain things are just not going to be good ideas, no matter which way you cut it. But it makes for an exciting spectacle, and that's what we here to see, folks. The ATK Pro Series, one of the most exciting spectacles in sim racing.
Yeah, hopefully no one's stupid enough to go two abreast through Eau Rouge, because that always ends badly. So they will probably get into formation and up for that first corner, duck in and tuck behind the guy in front, because if you try and take that side by side, I mean, I've tried it, it never ends well. You're in that wall.
Well, let's look ahead now to the start time. We've got the total sign up ahead. The timer goes, and Savalainen, Ietzi, Ogorognikov all slot into their respective positions. Nose to tail. Ietzi on the outside there, catching a little bit of curve there, but he tries to go for second place, and he takes it. Ietzi around the outside gets second place and takes it. Schaefer at the back there also shuffling things through. Burrows getting in the mix as well. It's very close. Going to the first right-hand here. Spears has got the inside line on Essa over there. Let's see who makes it first. Let's see who gets it. Ogorognikov and Ietzi touch ever so slightly. Ietzi runs wide. Ogorognikov on the inside. Oh my goodness, the action continues, but they managed to get through safely with the Essa in second place, but Spears still leads us off.
Yeah, exactly as we expected. Essa tucked behind Spears, really went for that drag, didn't he? But Spears did the right thing, covered that inside line, forcing Essa to go around the outside, and it wasn't just quite enough. He was actually ahead as they went into the braking zone for that corner, but that inside line is so important, so Spears manages to hold on to that first place. Vitally important. That was a danger point for him.
Savalainen, the big loser here. Vos makes his way through. Minna getting through as well, but now getting some pressure from McCall is Vos further up ahead, as we mentioned. Savalainen, the big loser, in 9th place. Burrows now in 8th position. Schaefer in 7th, and our producer mentioned to me before the race that Schaefer is someone we should watch out for. Always gets good results, always gets good podium, but he now is harassing Adam in 6th position, who's harassing Joris Appel in 5th place. 4th is
Essa went to the top of the leaderboard and then dropped back, so there was something as they went through the split. It got me very excited and confused until we cut back there and see, no, he is indeed behind Spears. So the ACC leaderboard playing silly again, but yeah, it's Spears just holding narrowly in front of Essa, and then Ogorognikov in 3rd position.
Yeah, Ietzi looking on as well, but so far they still are Linus third, one behind the next as they go into the braking zone over here. And of course, this is where they will complete the lap, Dan. So the finish of the race, and just remind me about that so I don't get too excited on the wrong corner.
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct.
But the finish of the race will take place over here as they come across to complete the first lap of round 3.
Yeah, lap 1 of a 60-minute sprint race, and they now just got to settle in and pile on the pressure. I mean, it went 60 minutes, they're just flat out the entire time base. We're not expecting anyone to come through the pits, but we're keeping a close eye on track limits. Track limits has played a big part today in F1, and I think it's going to play a part in this race as well. So easy just to push these track limits, so just keep an eye on that as we start entering, as they go through here. Oh, look at Essa. I mean, he definitely was majorly cutting there.
Appel's off. We can get that shot. Oh my goodness, Appel's off. We've got Pandemonium further back. Minna's off as well. Savalainen in the wall. Pandemonium further back. We need to cut to that. I hope we can get a replay over there. Savalainen is in the wall, ladies and gentlemen. Watch him fall back down the order. Strauss also falling back down the order. So we've had a big accident at Eau Rouge, and I'd love to get a replay of that as Joris Appel loses it and causes a bit of a pile up further back.
Yeah, we had Essa cut the top of Radion, didn't we? And then I think Appel went through and made a right mess of it and went straight through. And it sort of, a few people's sympathy went off with him. So if we can get a replay back of that later, it's caused a bit of a mess and really mixed up the midfield.
Big time mixed up the midfield. The front of the pack looks very similar, but now Ogorognikov finds himself in 3rd place. Ietzi finds himself in 4th place. Adam in 5th. Schaefer in 6th. And unfortunately, a couple of guys have fallen way back down. But the big winner at the moment, Morgan McCall, finds himself into eighth position. A little bit of a gap to Burrows, though, who's very, very fast at applying pressure to Schaefer and Adam.
Yeah, so McCall and Minna both gained out of that. They are teammates these days with ATK, I do believe. So they'll be trying to work together and work their way up through the field. Here we get the replay.
Oh,
he just went off, sort of on his own, didn't he? Come back.
Oh my goodness. Silverlinen and Apal go off. There's pandemonium, more cars further back. One of the ATK cars further down there as well. And oh my goodness me, that was a big accident in one of those spots where you kind of expect something like that to happen, because if you sort of panic brake and something's happening in front of you, the car is so unsettled, so on the absolute limits of adhesion, and if something goes wrong, then it's bye-bye and you're a passenger on the way to the scene of your own incident.
Yeah, ATK car, Christian Deploy got mixed up there. A few other cars get mixed up. But yeah, when you got a full tank of fuel as well and you go up on top of Radion, it gets very light. And it looks like he was in mid-correction and just sort of steered off on his own, didn't he? So mid-correction and then went off into the wall. But as we've seen, that is what they've corrected in Spa this year, or all the work over the winter, is you hit the wall and then come back onto circuit and you take a couple of guys out. That has been the cause of all the incidents, not the crash on its own. It's the secondary crashes that's been the issue. So the new track layout will help that immensely.
And what have they done exactly, Dan, to prevent?
They basically just widened that whole section. So if you go off, you don't immediately hit the wall and just bounce straight back out. So there's a lot of runoff, even though the track stays the same. So it hopefully will improve that, because if you're coming up Eau Rouge, you're already on the limit of adhesion, and then there's a car in the way. There is nothing you can do about it. You're just going to hit it.
Well, my ex-co-commentator won't be too stoked about that. He always mentioned that these circuits are getting softer and softer. And when it comes to taking away the pieces of the circuit that are spectator viewing points, are we just going to be driving on a massive field one day, Dan?
Yeah, no, this one though, I have to say, I do agree with the person you're talking about in certain respects. But in this instance, they've done it right. They've kept the essence of the track the same. And there's actually now spectator points there that weren't there before. So all they've changed is if you go off, you just don't take two other people with you, basically.
So it's not a massive airfield yet.
No, not really. It just doesn't. The walls aren't literally funneling you back onto the circuit, which is what's been the issue with some very nasty accidents.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. A couple of Formula accididents over there. Big Formula accidents with drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Hubert died, didn't he?
Yeah.
So they had to do something. Lando Norris's crash in the wet was pretty spectacular last year. So there's been quite a few, but I'll be interested to see what it looks like. In the meantime, Harry Spears and Essa and Ogorognikov have managed to. They don't realise this carnage has gone on behind them. Is they're plowing along ahead?
Yetzi and Ogorognikov going at it. That's Yetzi and Ogorognikov going at it for third place over there. Yetzi has a look at him getting pressure from Schaefer further back. So lots and lots of races happening on the circuit. A lot more entertaining than Laguna Seca, I have to say, as Schaefer has another look on Adam through the tight right-hander down towards Eau Rouge.
Yeah, so we're still a one-make series, so there's still not going to be like this differentiation between different brands of suddenly a Bentley horsing past you straight if the Camel straight, but they got to capitalize on maximizing their speed through here, Eau Rouge Radion, and then trying to get the long drag, get tucked up the car behind, and the straight is long enough that you do get something from it. Here we go up the inside.
Adam and Schaefer. Schaefer has a look down the inside. Schaefer has got track position at the moment, going into the right hand at the top of the hill. Adam tries to break very hard. Schaefer slots in ahead. So far, Schaefer's got it in the bag, and yes, he does. Schaefer has the position in the bag, gets fifth place for his trouble, and now to set sights on Yetzi.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. You're in the same car and you've got to do it on a long drag. Just tuck yourself in. It's such an effective long straight that you get enough of a slipstream, even in a Assetto Corsa Competizione where the slipstream effect the draft effect is not as much as other sims. It's effective here.
But I think he got the advantage going through Eau Rouge. He was slightly faster, and that's a big sacrifice one has to make there, isn't it? Go into Eau Rouge with a slightly different line to get the faster exit, not just bomb it in there and slip and slide your way out of it. And that's exactly what Schaefer did. Schaefer went in with a good line, had the run on Adam, and just cruised past him into the next corner.
Yeah, and it's difficult in GT3 cars. It's much harder to drive these around here than an LMP1 car or a Formula 1 car, where Eau Rouge is just easy flat these days. You just don't even, you can adjust stuff on your steering wheel. It's that easy. But these things, you're holding on to them. You really are.
Yeah.
That's why you're shortening that track layout as much as humanly possible, because you haven't got much. You've got to allow a bit of wash.
Yeah. We've got a penalty being handed out. The 222 car, that is Vos in 9th position at the moment. He's got Jacobs right behind him, less than half a second behind him, and Strauss another 3.7 further back. He's got a 5-second penalty, so that puts him in 11th position. So Vos, they're getting a bit of a penalty there. I wonder if the first of the track limits are starting to kick in now. We see a 15-second penalty for car number 116. That's Ghost in 21st position. So the penalty's now starting to get handed out there.
Yeah, that should be from our SIMGRID stewards, the 5 second and 15 seconds. So we'll have to check later on their steward inquiries exactly what that was for, but it definitely won't be for track limits, those two different times of what will be dished out. Putting close. S is certainly not letting Spears get away from him, is he? He's as close as he's been since the start right here as he comes up the camel straight on lap 4.
Yeah, Schaefer was also trying to apply some pressure, as so does Essa over there, but then the rest of the pack started getting a bit faster. But someone that's on a charge again now is Ietzi with the fastest lap of the race so far with a 2:18.2, and currently up on that. He might have lost it there, but geez, these guys are flying at the moment.
Yeah, these top 4, there's nothing to split them, is it? They're just any mistake and you'll be poaching places. Spears, we saw that he soaked up the pressure at Laguna Seca, but knowing that it was very difficult to any pass to come, here, this is where you start looking in your rear view mirror just a little bit more. You're up the camel straight and you see Essa behind you. You start covering that inside. You start driving defensively, and it's difficult when there's 50 minutes to go.
Yeah, Schaefer, watch out for Schaefer. Schaefer's going to catch up to this top 4 group. We're going to have ourselves a 5-man battle pretty soon, I suspect. And Ietzi also with incredible pace. Ogorognikov the same. Essa the same. And each one of them applying and giving pressure and receiving pressure as well. So this is a fantastic train over here. A little Mercedes Cup race over here now starting to come into its own.
Yeah, and you've got to try and hold on to your pack, if that makes sense. You don't want to break off the back of it. So these top 4, they want to try and hold on to each other because, yeah, if you're the one at the back, you're watching what's ahead. You're there to capitalize if there's a mistake. And if you haven't quite got their pace, you just got to make sure you stick with the pack so you benefit from that draft.
Yeah, I think the person that's trying to stick with the pack the most is Schaefer, but as we now go on board with Ietzi into the braking zone, look at how close they are. Ietzi getting right up here, and we go on board on the bonnet cam over here, and you can watch that bulging bonnet of that V8 over there roar its way down the first of these straights. That's, of course, where the finish line will be. They complete another lap, and now onto that start line that we saw earlier on, nice and tight up in that total corner over there on the way down the hill.
Yeah, getting a good exit throughout Les Sources turn 1 is absolutely vital because you carry it all the way to the top of the camel straight. So if you mess up that turn 1, which is very easy to do pushing your braking marker, you lose sort of 4 or 5 tenths by the time you get to the top. It compounds, and look how close Essa is here.
Oh, here comes Essa. Here comes Zahir Essa. Let's see if he's able to do anything about this. Goes around the outside. There goes around the outside and gets the overtake. Zahir Essa gets the overtake, but he's not going down without a fight. As Spears and Ogorognikov starts to get involved as well. Ogorognikov in the mix slides, and here comes Ietzi. Ietzi gets into 3rd place. Ogorognikov slots down to 4th, but Essa stays in 2nd position.
Fantastic driving from both drivers. Spears he'd lost the place, but then thought no and got up the inside, and 3rd and 4th switch again.
Yeah, Ogorognikov and Ietzi were bumping each other there. I saw a little bit of a robust move from Ogorognikov and giving Ietzi the old hip and shoulder going through that section over there. A little bit robust if you ask me, but no harm, no foul. As here comes Ogorognikov again. Down the inside, gets the overtake. Incredible pace from Ogorognikov. Very aggressive driving, and I thought he wasn't going to get away with that, but he did somehow. So Ogorognikov might have a little bit of extra pace in him somewhere.
Yeah, good ding-dong battle there up the inside of Puyong, and that's the way to get it done. And Spears and Essa managed to move ahead. I've got a change in position, but that's because they went through a sector time, and then they flicked back. So that just shows you that Essa was ahead, took that place at Lecom, And then Harry Spears thought none of it and shoved it up the inside. The door was left open from Essa, though.
Yeah, the door was left open. I think Essa went in a little bit hot there. But here comes Essa once again. He's got some sort of speed advantage in places. He's going to try to go down the inside. Spears is going to cover the inside. And here comes Essa down the outside once again.
Yeah, this is going to go on for a long time here between these two. And he's gone deep. Spears has gone deep into the bus stop, but manages to get it break. And he's, they're side by side, not their source now. S is going to have the inside line into turn 1.
He does have the inside line for turn 1. Danny Etsi watching on Spears comes across there. And there goes Essa. Essa snatches the lead. The cars that see it at ZT going to be happy with it. But here comes Spice with the cutback.
Oh, this is absolutely epic driving. So Spears went in very deep at the bus stop, and that messed up his final corner onto the pit lane with a finish. And they switched back at the source, and now S is going to have a long drag and go for it again at turn 7.
Oh, here comes Essa, and again Essa with a turn of speed on the exit. Essa's got that speed on the exit, just missing the bumper there. He's going around the outside again. He's pulled this off before. Can he do it again?
Yeah, Spears covering that inside as he likes to do, but Essa went round the outside last time, and then Spears took the switch back. It's going to happen again here.
Oh, there's some with a little bit more bumping and barging, and Ogorognikov looking on as well. Yetzi further back, and Schaefer tussling as well. Ogorognikov watching on. Will he get a position as well as Essa maintains the lead? Essa maintains the lead. Ogorognikov goes for second place, but so far it is Ogorognikov in third, keeps it. Spears now in second place, and Essa with a little bit of a gap after all is said and done.
Yeah, great turn of pace there from Essa. I mean, that was just fantastic driving once again on another lap between those two through Le Combe, side by side through 3 corners. Ogorognikov waiting to poach for any possible contact or mistake.
Well, someone that's also waiting to poach over here is Tariq Adam, who now finds himself back in the thick of things in 6th place. The top 6 guys separated by split seconds, and Adam now starting to watch on. Burrows in 7th position and Morgan McCall further back, all trying to catch up with this lead group here, but it does start to look like Essa is starting to eke out at the tiniest of gaps, and that's exactly what he's going to try and do, but Spears is going to have none of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much action at the front, and we haven't even had a chance to look further down the field. But, I mean, this top 5 is just absolutely insane, and I wouldn't put it past Spears fighting his way back as well. Essa needs to he's got clear track ahead of him. He needs to make it count now. He's got to somehow try and break this group and try and make life a little bit easy, because it's hard. This is what we said. Laguna Seca was one thing. Here, you don't want to be looking in your rearview mirror when you're at the end of the camera straight.
Spears starting to make the tiniest of mistakes there, as Essa does exactly the opposite and gets that sequence of corners just right. Ogorognikov now, I think Ogorognikov's got some serious pace underfoot there, and I think Ogorognikov's got a little bit of, he gives Spears a bit of a tap there, gives him another one. Spears has to move over. Is Ogorognikov going to bail out of this move? Gave him the old love tap over there, and Ogorognikov takes second position, and Spears has to watch on as they go through a ruse. Schaefer now catching up to the whole pack.
Spears didn't like that, did he? He had the flash of the lights there. I think Ogorognikov could do with a few tyres on the side of his AMG, because he's prepared to bump it, isn't he? He's not paying for bodywork repairs here. And Spears might go back into 4th place, because Schaefer's looking to have had a good look as well.
Yeah, it's all started at the beginning of the straight, Dad, with that argy-bargy between Ogorognikov and Spears, and now all of a sudden Schaefer managing to get the run up the hill, but Spears starting to be a little bit untidy. I've got to say, I'm watching his racing from on board, and now he's going to get pressure from Yetzi. Maybe he's got a problem with the car, maybe he's got some damage on the car, but Yetzi now also in the mix, and the man that was in the lead of this race now suddenly finds himself fighting for 4th position.
Yeah, maybe Spears has just pushed those tyres just a touch hard, tries really fighting for Essa for multiple laps in a row, because, I mean, now he's just trying to hold on to 4th place. He was fighting for 1st. 2 laps later, he's down in 4th, and there's a whole train of cars behind that are just waiting to capitalise.
Indeed.
Trying to get your rhythm. You've got to try and just get your rhythm back, and just smooth driving is the only way to get those tyres back in their window if they have indeed gone out of it.
And you're so right about that train. Essa at the moment, 0.4 of a second up, 0.5 of a second up on his best lap. So he is charging away at the moment. But the train continues behind him. Ogorognikov, Schaefer, Spears, Yetzi, Adam watching on as well. Burrows now closing in. And McCall all the while 5 seconds further down, trying hard to catch up to the lead pack.
I mean, basically nothing splits the top 7. So any one of these drivers can make a move. Essa's got the clean track ahead of him. We hear Spears couldn't make it count. He got a great start as he wanted, but Essa's now got it, and he's just starting to stretch a bit of a gap.
Yeah, just starting to stretch that gap. Ietzi now and Adam bunching up together. Look at them bunch up into that corner over there. All of them nose to tail. And as I mentioned, you've got a whole bunch of big name drivers here fighting for second position now as Zaire crosses the line, and I think he's got the fastest time of the race. No, he does. It almost does, but gets it to 2:18.202. 2:18.202.
I think that is quickest.
Yeah, that is the fastest time of the day so far.
Yeah, Schaefer's not far off though. Also in 2:18.2, so he's got some pace. Ogorognikov is 2/10 slower than Schaefer in third place, so Schaefer's showing a good load of speed here, isn't he? He could be fighting for second place before we know it.
Here comes Ietzi now on Spears. Ietzi going around the outside there on Spears. We saw this move work earlier on to take the position. Oh, Spears and Ietzi make contact. Spears comes across and gives him the tap from the side. Spears not having any of that. Oh, Ietzi has to back out. And Ietzi doing the right thing there. He could have taken Spears out there easily as Spears closed the door. But Ietzi backs out. I think Spears is a little bit of a frustrated pony over there in fourth position.
Yeah, every time he goes through turn 7, 8, 9 Lecom, he's got a car side by side and he's trading liveries, isn't he? I think he's got about 5 different liveries on the side of his green AMG at the moment as he just wants a clean lap. You've got to try and get your rhythm back, but it's hard when you're constantly battling. And in the meantime, S is just running away at the front. Yeah,
Ietzi now with a little bit of a gap now to Spears in front. Spears managing to eke out the gap. Adam also with a slight gap, but the battle now taking place for second position with Schaefer, who is on an absolute chance. If Schaefer finishes this lap, he will have the fastest lap of the race at the current pace. And we mentioned earlier on, Dan, our producer told us earlier on that Schaefer is one of those guys to watch, and here we find him now currently in third position.
Yeah, a bit of inside knowledge there. I mean, we spent a lot of time looking at the front of the field that we've neglected a little bit at the back of the field. And we've got someone in chat, just a shout out for William Wentworth, started last and is currently in 13th place. So that's a hell of a charge that he's made through the back end of the field to get into the mid-pack.
William Wentworth in the 554 car over there, the Mad Panda Motorsport car, and looking very good in 13th position. Another familiar name to the Pro Series from, I think he's been in the Pro Series from the very beginning, Dan. So William Wentworth, glad to see him doing well there in the 554 car.
Yeah, clearly got some racecraft. If qualifying isn't his bag, the racecraft is, if he can make that amount of places, see whether he can keep it up. Also up on his Delta 4/10 this lap as well. So well done to William Wentworth. As we get back to the front, I mean, we just can't keep our eyes off this front 7 because there's fights everywhere. And Ietzi's got Adams for company here. Please don't go through two abreast Row Rouge, though. Don't do it.
Oh, Tariq Adam looks on and just look at this in-car view working the steering wheel. They do run very, very wide through there, Dan.
You can really take a lot on that left side, a lot more than you realize you can, and you learn exactly how much you can take because you take it every single lap.
Yeah, so Verlainen all the way down in 19th position there. Joris Appel all the way down in 14th position. What a change of event. Prince KB in the pits at the moment in 22nd position as we go on the bumper cam now on board with Tariq Adam, the GTW R8G Academy. Looking so good at the moment is Tariq Adam, our podium finisher from the previous round.
Yeah, solid. Always there, isn't he, Tariq Adams? Always solid. And at Spa, I'd expect him to be a couple more places. He's definitely got the speed. He needs to try and dispatch Ietzi. But these foreigners, they're quick, eh?
They're
internationals in the ATK Pro Series, and it really gets competitive.
They are not bad at all, I gotta say. And it makes it difficult to root for the South Africans. I'm just glad there's one in the top spot at the moment.
Yeah, and Essa, I mean, that's where we sort of become slightly accustomed to seeing him here at South African sim racing. We've got some international drivers behind him that are doing as much as they can to try and pull him back. But Harry Spears is not one of them right now because he's on a bit of a recovery drive and he's trying to claw his way onto the back of Schaefer's AMG, see whether he can make a pass, maybe settle those tyres down a little bit, back into their window, see whether he can regroup some of that immense speed that he's got. We know he's got it because he put it on pole.
Yeah, exactly. And just going through the comments here, Dan, you're right. Robert Wentworth pointing out that William Wentworth doing so exceptionally well. As we watch Tariq Adam now try to make a move on Ietzi down the outside into the bus stop section. Yetzi runs wide. Tariq Adams going to try and do the switcheroo on him, but he does the same, gets a bit of wheel spin for his trouble, and Yetzi somehow manages to cover that position over there. Here comes Adam once again. I don't think this will be the last Yetzi's going to be seeing of Adam for the rest of this 36-minute race. But just going back to the commentary over there in the stream, guys, keep those comments coming. JC Grobler, nice to see you here. My friend Marcus Lawrence says, "Come on, Harry." That's the fan club there that you're part of, Dan.
Yeah, there's a few in that fan club, isn't there? I'm going to start selling tickets or T-shirts for the Harry Spears Brit. For all Brits, we could get a Harry Spears T-shirt. I'm thinking there's a business opportunity here.
I think so too. In the words of another Harry, I think it could be the signs of the times, Dan.
You with your pop references, Britney Spears, straight to Harry. Okay, let's get back to some actual racing and get Ernest off his pop charts. Ayitzi, 5th position, is just soaking up immense pressure here from Tariq Adams in the 99. Adams he's weaving his car, making sure he sees as much black and white stripes in his mirrors as he possibly can. And that's really off-putting, I can tell you that for certain.
Yeah. Just going back to these comments here, Warren Barker from ATK says 3 minutes of electricity left for me. Hopefully none of the other competitors are being affected by load shedding today. We have been downgraded a stage or 2, so it's nice to see the racing so good and a bit of a bigger field here today, Dan.
Well, I hope I've got some electricity now, because I didn't when this stream started, but it just switches over. I have got a bit of backup, thankfully. Cheeky backup.
Oh, nice. Cheeky backup. Yes. That cheeky backup there.
I think all South Africans need to make a plan, don't they? And it would be a great shame for this championship to be affected at all by the likes of a stupid electricity supply. So let's hopefully all of our top runners keep going. And we have got some very quick Saffers still running, and they're well in with the championship stand. And this will throw Zayaressa right back into the championship standings as it stands right now. Harry Spears got to get himself up onto a podium spot if he can. Oh, Ogorognikov's got a 5-second penalty.
My goodness,
that's very interesting.
Oh no, I'm looking further down. We got to drive
through for Allison. That's track limits. Yeah.
But Ogorognikov for the 5-second penalty, that is terrible news for him, because he would move back down 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 positions, maybe even 5, with McCall now could slot up a position if he manages to get within striking distance.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about having flipping tyres on the side of that AMG. He got a bit too close to a few too many cars there, and I think the stewards have taken a dumb view of it, and he's got slapped with a 5-second penalty. So his new task is to build a 5-second gap as Tariq Adams is all over the back of Yetzi.
Oh, Yetzi covers the line there, gets ahead again, but I thought that overtake was done there. I didn't want to interrupt you there, Dad, because I was watching it, clenching my teeth on my little cheat screen over here as we go on board with the Yetzi now, looking back. And just look how evenly matched they are as they're heading to the braking zone, with my man Tariq Adam over there slotting that car up close and underneath the Novoplast wing over there, and Simone Yetzi, our man from Italy, representing the Italians with absolute flair here in that 858 car.
Hopefully his engine lasts a little bit longer than some of the other Italian cars. I'm sorry, I don't want to put any spoilers out for anyone who hasn't seen the F1.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet.
Let's move on. Tariq Adams is not making any desperate lunges up through Eau Rouge yet, which is what we like to see. 33 minutes to go. He just needs to keep piling this pressure. Eventually, an opportunity will present itself. You don't need to do anything rash yet. Still half the race to go. Unbelievably, we've still got half the race to go.
Exactly. Can we just talk about Tariq Adams' maturity over the course of this race, and the fact that he got a 3rd place the last time? I've seen Tariq Adam since I started with the Seto Corsa. He kind of featured here with some pace, but I think he's grown quite a bit into his abilities, and his maturity really does start to show. It's so interesting when you actually see that happening. We've got another drive-through penalty on the screen over here. That is car number 52, and once again, that's Allison gets a drive-through penalty in 17th position.
Yeah, we're going to see a few of those drive-throughs for track limits. No, you're quite right. Tariq Adams, I was watching him and commentating on him when he almost started ACC racing, and he's come on absolute leaps and bounds. Now a real force to be reckoned with in the international scene as well.
Oh, wow.
Has a teammate in Jordan Sherritt that's probably helped him along a little bit, and those two, they really are hellish fast. So he's been consistent here without showing any signs of absolute glorious pace, if you like, with a win, but he's just knocking on those points and they're just racking up, aren't they? And that's what you need by the end of this championship.
And he's also staying in it, because it's so easy to get frustrated with the types of moves that he's making. He's backing out when he's being quite aggressive, but Adam playing the waiting game now, patiently stalking his prey versus trying to bite the jugular immediately at the first opportunity.
Yeah, and what do you do if you're Schaefer in this situation? You've got Ogorognikov in front of you. You know he's got a 5-second penalty. The second place is basically yours, but he looks like he's sort of holding him back, isn't he? So he's got to try and make a move here to try and get that pressure from Spears behind him off him.
I'm telling you, Schaefer's the fastest guy here, man. Just looking at the numbers, Schaefer has got the pace, he's got the abilities, he's got the pedigree, he's got the results previously, and I think he just hasn't had his moment to shine yet, because Spears and the rest of the boys have been doing all the shining. So Schaefer, I think, is definitely one to watch. If he can get past Ogorognikov, I think he might be the only one that's able to challenge Essa at this stage.
Yeah, but already you get a bit of a... You watched Ogorognikov sort of force his way through a few places. That's how he's got a 5-second penalty. You're a little bit wary, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because the place is already yours, effectively, when he serves that penalty. But you also need to get past him. So you get like a reputation. It's like trying to get past Max Verstappen a couple of years ago, isn't it? No F1 driver wanted to do it because it was, it wasn't going to be given to you.
Exactly, and that's by design. I mean, the mind games that need to get played. I was just chatting to one of our fastest Polo Cup drivers yesterday, and how the mind games work and the games that he plays on the circuit. That's what it's about. The mental game is so important. Mental toughness is so important. And someone like Zahir Essa, as we see on screen over there, certainly has that in spades. But these guys are playing games with each other over here, and now the games continue to get played further back as Schaefer gets looked on by Spears. Spears makes a move on Schaefer further back. If we can cut back, Spears gets past Schaefer. Schaefer making a mistake. They're trying to do the cutback, and Spears with a big dive down the inside gets a position back from our man Schaefer.
Yeah, great pass into the bus stop, wasn't it? Last of the late breakers there. Spears gets past him. Now he really needs to try and dispatch Ogorognikov as quickly as possible. Zahir Essa is running away at the meantime, because it looks like the Russian's holding the cork in the bottle, and these two are ready to start chasing down our leader.
Yeah, the cork in the bottle as the pressure starts to build, Dan. Schaefer, Spears, all waiting for Ogorognikov as Ogorognikov runs very wide that time there. I wish I could see the guy's actual penalties. I know in-game you can see how many penalties you've accrued, but we don't see that information as we watch them coming up the hill now, all evenly matched into the right-hander braking zone. And as you so rightly mentioned earlier, it's going to be the last of the late breakers here when we see those positions change at certain parts of the circuit.
We have indeed. In fact, we have Jason Salford, who's our chief steward from SIMGRID, who does post in the instant outcomes on Discord. So I'm just going to go back and have a look and see what contact was made. So it was car number 41, wasn't it, Ogorognikov? Incident involving car 41 and car 285 on lap 8, turn 1.
That's Spears, yeah.
Yeah, 5-second penalty. So it's where he forced his way through.
It was very robust. It was very robust. I'm not exactly sure what the call is. I'd like to see that replay if we can. But I can understand the shoulders were out, the elbows were out. Everything was out. There might have even been...
Everything was out.
Yeah, there might have
got both doors open.
Yeah, there might have been a hand shoved in the face here from time to time as well. No punches thrown, but definitely a very robust move.
Yeah, so maybe if our producers can look at lap 8, turn 1, cars 41 and car 285 is what
you know when wrestlers in like the WWE grab someone's face and just like shoves them away. That's kind of what he did there. It wasn't a punch, but it wasn't polite.
Yeah. and you can do that on turn 1. So
here comes Spears. Here comes Spears. We can cut to Spears now. Spears makes the overtake stick. Oh my goodness! Guess who's back, ladies and gentlemen? Guess who's back? Harry Spears. Oh my goodness, Harry Spears, watermelon sugar, Harry's back.
Hey, I think I might be selling you a t-shirt at this rate, Dennis. So we got Schaefer dispatched at the bus stop on lap 10. Lap 11, Ogorognikov dispatched at the bus stop. Harry Spears is a master through there, isn't he? And now, can he regroup? He just had that little lapse in concentration, or the tyres went off. Just unsettled him, lost a few places, but he's back into second place. Got to hunt down our man Zahir Essa. 20 27 minutes to go.
How did he do that? Schaefer's got the drive up the hill. Schaefer's got the drive up the hill on Ogorognikov. Ogorognikov is going to try and cover the line on the outside, but he can't. It's already there. Here's Schaefer in that Mercedes-Benz. Schaefer down the outside, looking on at Spears. Spears glad not to be part of this, and there goes Schaefer. Easily cruises past Ogorognikov into third place.
Yeah, that was a brilliant camera view as we look underneath the rear view spoiler of Spears as we got Ogorognikov, I think, lifted and let that place go because he just slotted back in. He knows he's got 5 seconds. He doesn't want to lose time fighting these guys because he's got to build a 5-second gap to Aitzi to try and keep fourth.
Exactly. It's damage control at this stage, isn't it,
Yes.
Dan? It's about trying to make the most of a bad situation. You've already got that 5-second penalty. But having said that, the mental toughness to stay in it with that 5-second penalty, he's got 26 long minutes ahead of him now to try and stay in the game and keep focused.
Yeah, he's in a really fast group though with these two in front of him, isn't he? So actually slotting in behind Schaefer
Might
and
not
then
be a bad idea.
dragging him on, he might get that 5-second gap to Itzy. That's what he wants to do.
Exactly, and at this stage, I'm sure Schaefer knows that there's no point in Ogorognikov fighting him. He knows that he doesn't have to worry about Ogorognikov unless he does anything silly. And but him, on the other hand, Schaefer is looking on at Spears, and now the gap to Essa, 3.3 seconds. Let's watch that gap there, and let's see if Spears or Schaefer can find a new turn of speed with 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, obviously Spears has been fighting people. He's lost time getting through. So we're looking at the last time they went through the gates, and it was just under a 10th quicker for Spears on Essa. But Essa's got a comfortable gap that he'll be managing now. 2 minutes 18.4 last time through. Spears was only 2:18.40, so only slightly quicker. As Essa's just slightly improved. So let's see when Spears goes through what his time is.
Yeah, Spears the gap now, 3.3 seconds still as they head down the hill. A massive slope of a circuit over here. You watch the crowds on the left-hand side and right-hand side, pit lane over there, down what is one of the steepest hills in motorsport, similar to the Kailami mine shaft over there. It must be incredible. I've never driven down there myself, Orush, but it must be absolutely incredible to do.
I hope you haven't driven down Eau Rouge because you're going backwards. Going up there.
Up Eau Rouge, I apologize.
Yeah, going down would be. You're going to end up with a bit of trouble, I think.
Yeah, going the wrong way around. We're just hearing something here from our producer. We've got to keep an eye on Schaefer and Ogorognikov over here. Ogorognikov with massive pressure from Schaefer, and now we are on board with Schaefer with some solid times there. Schaefer's massively fast. 0.3 of a second up on that first part of the circuit, Dan. He is exceptionally fast here. These guys, I feel like there's some hidden speed somewhere. I'm not quite sure why that speed isn't translating for Schaefer and why he was able to get overtaken again by Spears.
Yeah, they're just so consistent though, aren't they? As in, they tuck themselves in behind, manage to get that pass either bus stop or the end of the Camel Straight. But the lap times between the top three are just so close. And Ogorognikov in fourth, really. You've got to shove him in there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just within a 10th of each other every single lap.
Look at Ietzi and Adams still in the mix, though, further back as we go on board with Morgan McCall now in 7th position. Morgan McCall, another big winner here in 7th place. He's got Burrows right behind him, but I think Morgan McCall is on a hard charge. It looks like he's qualifying. He was not able to get the best qualifying today, but able to find pace and speed, though, even though the qualifying was not ideal.
Yeah, I feel like we've probably missed a massive amount of stuff in the mid-pack because we had Christian Deploy was one of the guys that was affected in that Eau Rouge sort of fling-off, and he's got himself back up into the top 10 somehow, so I have no idea how that happened. And we mentioned William Wentworth earlier on. He's now in 11th from starting dead last. So we've had so much action at the front. We've concentrated on the top sort of 5-6 drivers, but it looks like it's been one hell of a race throughout the entire field, basically.
Well, we've got a replay coming up now. Our producer's whispering in my ear there. We've got some replay. The Ogorognikov, the Igor penalty that we are waiting to see now. And here comes your replay, ladies and gentlemen. Ogorognikov, Igor Ogorognikov. Here's
so
what
this
happened.
Is 5 seconds, lap 8, turn 1. And it's like, no, I'm taking this place, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the nudges. Watch the nudge. He nudged him over there, and this caused our man on the left over there to lose 2 positions because of that nudge all the way down. So he knocked him twice there coming out of that exit over there, and gave him a bit of a shove on the side as well. Paul Fenter commenting over here says epic driving from the top 4. So we got some people watching the live chat over there. For those guys joining us, thanks so much. Daniel Haynes in the mix there as well on the live. Daniel multitasking us here.
Yeah, I've got some of my t-shirts, so I'm just getting used to typing in chat. So for the next round, once they've got printed, but I think that was fair enough. Just to remind you, we've got very impartial stewards here, supplied from SIMGRID, nothing to do with ATK. So we can be as impartial as we like in comms.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're not the ones dishing out penalties.
I love picking sides as we watch Robin Schaefer back in the mix again, and that is Robin Schaefer there in the number 9 car. And still getting pressure from Ogrodnikov is Schaefer, with Spears just in front of him. The gap still 3.3 seconds, if you can believe it, to first place man Essa over there. Just FYI, if you want to check out our sponsors at the bottom left over there, you can see our sponsors' names popping up on the bottom left. Coach Dave Academy, as you mentioned rightly so, at one stage, I'm not sure if that's still confirmed, had the fastest ever lap here at Spa at the 24-hour. Puma, of course, I currently love to rock my Puma trainers. Of course, many Puma fans out there. One of our many sponsors on the list. SIMGRID.
Do we give our address?
Tariq Adam gets a bit of a gives a bit of a nudge there. That is the Yetzi and Tariq Adam still going on there, Dan. Sorry to jump in there, Dan, but the battle continues with these two, and Yetzi still in the lead as Mecking goes into the pits.
I think Tariq Adams might be happy or relieved that he actually come out behind there, because otherwise he would have been facing a steward's inquiry himself and maybe a 5-second penalty slapped on, because that was a little bit I'm coming through, wasn't it, for me?
Yeah, it definitely was, Dan, and we can't be having any of that. The GTWR Racing as we go on board with Igor Ogrodnikov over there, and looking back on not much, but now we go on board with Simon Yetzi, who is looking back on Adam over there, and as they make their way atop the hill, just look at how the car ducks and dives thanks to the downfalls, just holding it plastered down to the asphalt as they go into the right hand at the top of the hill, and Adam comes up close once again.
Yeah, and that Ogrodnikov will love the fact that these two are fighting, because he's in his own little goal of gaining a 5-second gap, and it's getting bigger, 3.4 seconds or so to those guys behind him. At the moment, these guys will poach a place if they work with each other, but they're not. They're fighting for each other for their position. That's
rightly so, Dan. I think you're making a very good observation here. Adam would be wise to just let Yetzi catch up to Ogrodnikov and then fight for the position. It's no point fighting now. Yes, he's trying to leapfrog him, but at the very best with 20 minutes to go, you're possibly looking at 1 or 2 positions. But then again, the lead pack is right in front, so Adam might be thinking to himself, if I get past Yetzi now, I could be fighting with that lead pack just behind Essa.
I think there's just too much time, isn't there? 90 minutes, a lot can happen. So, and you just have the racing gloves on, don't you? You don't stop to think about the repercussions. But that 5 seconds is absolutely pivotal in this where the championship points are going to go here in the top 5. Ogrodnikov is doing the right thing though, tucking behind the quick guys of Schaefer and Spears. And that gap's growing. That gap's growing to Yetzi in 5th position at the current.
Yeah, and you say racing gloves, Dan, but I suspect some of these guys, maybe Adam put on his boxing gloves today. Him and Yetzi, Adam and Yetzi, and Adam hoping to take a bite of that apple over there and get past the Yetzi as soon as possible.
Very clean driving, though, I have to say, so far. I mean, we've had a smattering of penalties and only a couple of drive-throughs for track limits. So 20 minutes to go. These are very well behaved and absolutely epic when you're seeing so much side-by-side driving. Not really anyone barging or punting people around at all, is there? Not I've seen.
There goes Wentworth, started right at the back and now finds himself in the top 10, Dan. William Wentworth, and as you said earlier on, the clean driving, Adam and Yetzi made slight contact, so that pushed Adam quite a far way back now all of a sudden. So Adam not within striking distance anymore. He's now got a second gap. But William Wentworth from Mad Panda Motorsport over there in the 554 car should be very proud of this performance so far. He does, however, have quite a big gap to 9th place, man. But he is in 10th at the moment and on the charge. He's got deploy over 30 seconds up ahead down the road, but I don't think that's going to stop him because he came all the way from way back in the 20s to the top 10.
Now, we've had some epic driving from the back of the field through the grid, and we've had some guys that you expect to be at the top. Sovalainen down in 16th position. Not quite sure what happened to him. Philip Minar's dropped down into 12th. So we've had a race of woes we're going to hear in Discord later, I'm sure, as a few people let us know exactly what went wrong. But if you're there to capitalise, we've had guys like Wentworth from last to 10th. What a drive that is.
Yeah, Joris Appel over there in 11th position, but he's getting a pressure from Sovalainen, who's in 16th position. So Sovalainen seems to be a lap down by the looks of things on Appel. So Joris Appel not fighting for position there, but he's got one of the fastest drivers right on his tail there. In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, Sovalainen just set the fastest lap time. Yes, he has with a 2:17.965. Sovalainen is your fastest man on track at the moment. But,
wow, so he's gone through the pits, taken tyres, done a bit of a repair work, hasn't he, to find himself that far back, and now he's proven a point in Sovalainen in 16th position by setting these blistering lap times, and he's going to get through the route pretty quickly.
Now, gets himself an extra points for his troubles, but it's not an ideal situation for him as Igor Ogorognikov here battles it out. This is for 4th place and 3rd place over there. We got Ogorognikov side by side. Oh my goodness me.
No, this is where he got his 5-second penalty, but can he get through it cleanly this time? He does indeed. Got the cutback though here from Schaefer, is looking up the inside, but I think Ogorognikov's got this done because there's no way Schaefer's going to go side by side through Eau Rouge.
Yeah. Saw a dab of the brakes there by Schaefer potentially. Schaefer lifting off ever so slightly, just making sure there's nothing to worry about. He doesn't want to go side by side through there. So Ogorognikov now, even with that 5-second penalty, finds himself back in 3rd position, and he and Adam further back still hunting these guys down. But that gap, that 5-second penalty, he's making the most of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that gap's 4.5 seconds, so he needs to find another half second, and he's feeling that Schaefer's holding him back because he gets past here at the end of the camel straight through the comms. He's ahead. So Ogorognikov up into 3rd place. And yeah, he's going to try and make a march. He doesn't care. Schaefer, though, knows that 5-second penalty's there, so you're not too concerned, are you? I think he knows Spears was too much for him, and Schaefer will be happy to get onto the podium, and that will be the case if it finishes like it is.
Yeah, Spears, however, though, now 3.1 seconds behind Essa. So Spears and Essa now ever so slightly closer with 15 minutes to go. I'm going to be watching that deltas very accurately. We've often heard these guys talk about at the end of the race how their tires have gone off. There was a problem with the car. We don't know the struggle in car that these guys are facing, and for all we know, Zaire Essa could be facing struggles of his own as the rest of the pack tries to catch up.
Yeah, lap times are down, aren't they? About 4/10 down of where they were towards the start of this race, and they've burnt fuel off, so clearly tyres are struggling. We were definitely going to get some tyre woe comments as we interview the top 3, but it's the same for everyone here in a sprint race, and it looks like if you manage to keep any of your tyres towards the end, you got some pace. Ogorognikov's showing a bit of pace right now.
Sovalainen further back, and Appel battling it out. Sovalainen with some decent pace, but not quite as fast as expected. He's about to get lapped by Essa, though. Essa just behind him on track as Essa comes to complete another lap. And of course, this is where the race will end later on as he crosses the line there. 3.3 seconds the gap, and Essa manages to get a 0.3 of a second faster lap time as well. So Essa can put the hammer down if he needs to.
Yeah, he's in the position that he's been familiar in being with in many of ATK races, hasn't he? And a lot of other sim races in this country. And he's managing his pace. I mean, that sort of 0.3 he earned towards the start where Spears was just fighting with so many guys and Essa just managed to just check out. It's really benefited him, and he's enjoyed it. And now he's just got to try and get to the end, sort of 14, 15 minutes to go, because we'll probably have an extra lap after they go across the line.
Adam now still applying pressure to Ietzi, and just like our man over there in 1st place, Essa, Ietzi's team would be sending through the cold trickle signal saying, we need you to drop the hammer, we need you to drop the hammer, because 5th place man, 6th place man Adam is once again starting to apply that pressure.
Yeah, these two, I mean, they've been in a battle for half the race, haven't they? Adams is just, he cannot find a way past. He's had a good few looks through the bus stop, might be going for another chance here on this lap as well, but just He drops back, regroups, has another push. He's only got a few more pushes left as Adam to try and make this count, because then he wants to get within that 5-second window of Ogorognikov if he can.
Yeah, he's got 12.5 minutes to go. Adam does. Ogorognikov with a 5-second penalty further down. Adam, you can see he's pushing hard. You can see the car squirming and moving over there with those tires clearly not doing as well as they were doing at the beginning of this race. ESC in 5th place still soaking up the pressure, and you got to commend these guys for doing that as we go to Christian Deploy in 9th place, quite a way down the road from Wentworth, so he is quite secure in that 9th place at the moment in that ATK car.
Yeah, but he was the AT car that got punted on sort of lap 2 or 3 at the top of Eau Rouge, outside of his sort of sphere of influence, if you like. And he's been on a recovery drive ever since. I commented he dropped way back. To get into the top 10 is a great drive, and we can see the damage on the side of that AMG. So he's managed to work his way back up with the likes of Wentworth into that top 10. And as a reminder, top 10 is a big deal here. 10th place gets a cash prize.
Indeed, and Minna will be a bit happy to be further up over there. We saw in qualifying, and he was right up there in qualifying was Minard, and now he finds himself all the way down. Morgan McCall, 7th position. How did Morgan McCall get into 7th place, Dan? Morgan McCall in 7th position now, and slowly but surely just carving his way through the field is McCall.
Yeah, just working his way back
McCall
through.
Got overtaken there.
Passed again, yeah. So there's just swapping places between these two, Jacobs and McCall.
I think McCall led him through. I think McCall led him through. I suspect something would have gone wrong there, and McCall thought better of it to just let him through, but we'll have to wait for a replay on that as we go on board with Harry Spears, still getting, applying pressure over there by Ogorognikov, still getting pressure from 5-second penalty man Ogorognikov, and now the two of them are getting closer together.
Yeah, possibly when you start seeing these 5 seconds, 15 seconds on your relative delta, people dishing out penalties, you get a bit fearful of the stewards and think you're steward yourself. So possibly Morgan McCall let that place go back because he didn't feel like he got it fairly, and we'll have another go at it now. But he's still showing in 7th place on the leaderboard right now. Never quite sure with ACC leaderboard whether they go through a delta and they flip back again. Otherwise, Morgan McCall has got up into 7th place.
Philip Menard there in 12th position in the ATK car is Philip Menard, and starting to show his pace. He's really got a good turn of speed. He's just got to turn that into a solid result here today. Hopefully top 10 at this stage, I think, is where he would want to be. But interesting to see all of the guys in different positions today. Even Zahir Esso was 4th last time, now finds himself in 1st position.
Yeah, and he's sort of managed that gap nicely, hasn't it? It's gone out a bit again towards the 4-second mark. Ogorognikov's the guy with pace right now. Cleared Schaefer, stretched a gap from him as well. With his 5-second serve, he's only going to go down into 5th. So he's still pushing with 10 minutes to go to see whether he can hold on to 4th place. Yes, Adams is the one that's sort of being held up now, but I think Ietzi and Adams are so close on pace but it's not really being held up. That's just where they're at, isn't it? And he just cannot find his way past the Italian.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you get stuck behind someone, and no matter what you do, whether it's the right things or not, it's not going to work. And you kind of got to just resign yourself to sticking in that position. And that could be what Adam has to do, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Still 10 minutes to go. Just look at how fast those guys are going through that section over there.
Yeah, you always feel like you're being held up, don't you? You're like, oh, he's holding me up. We see it in F1 all the time. He's holding me up. Switch the places. Then you switch the places. And it's like, oh, crap. Now I'm holding him up. He's actually, no, we're going the same speed and I haven't really got anything else.
He's a bit faster than I suspected.
And you've obviously got a bit of slipstream and draft benefit. When you lose it, you're like, oh, hold on a minute. It's actually not quite so easy in front.
Indeed, yeah. It's the pressure is real. The pressure is very real. I'm looking at the qualifying results here. We saw Spears started in 1st place, now finds himself in 2nd. We got Appel there, who was in 5th place, now finds himself in 11th position over there. Ogorognikov was in 3rd, still in 3rd though, so well done to him, but I do think he's going to move down thanks to that penalty over there. Tariq Adam, a big winner from 8th position, gets to 6th place. A couple of changes there in the order. Menard, we saw early on, was quite a far way down in the qualifying. Not his best performance in qualifying, and now finds himself in 12th position.
Yeah, he was mentally fast at Laguna Seca, was Philip Minard, but struggling a little bit more here at Spa-Francorchamps. So maybe a bit of work here at Spa in setup, or I don't know what it is. But it's one of those circuits where the experienced sim racer has done so many laps here. Zairessa, I wouldn't want to guess how many laps he's put around this circuit. And Philip Minard having a little bit less experience is maybe where it shows a little bit more.
Check out Jacobs over here, finds himself in 8th position from 17th. Sander Jacobs, Weather SA, our producer over there. Not being biased, of course not, but I think it's right that our man Jacobs gets some airtime because, as I mentioned, he started all the way down in 17th position behind Prince KB, who was in 16th. Now he finds himself in 8th.
Yeah, so Prince KB checked out, did he? He went to the pits, I believe, so he obviously maybe had an incident at the start of the race and we missed that. So unfortunately, he has retired from the race. Quite early on, I saw he returned to pit lane, so he'll have to try and regroup, hopefully, for round 4. And yeah, it's all action. It's all action here at ATK Pro Series at Spa. We're going to want Spa on the calendar every time. Look how close this is now.
Ogrodnikov on Spears. Spears backing out completely.
Brilliant.
He's not going to...
Let him go.
100% Dan. Well done, Dan. I mean, that was well spotted there. So, I think you're right on this one. Spears decided, you know what? This is not worth it. Spears was like, nope, this is toxic. He doesn't want to get lucky. He says he doesn't want Ogrodnikov to do it again. And in the words of Britney Spears, he says, no, not one more time.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe you did that. Anyway, that's very, very mature driving from Harry Spears. He knows what's at stake here, and he just wants those points for second place. He's resigned himself that S is winning this race, and he doesn't want to get entangled with a long, drawn-out battle with a Russian. He's already proved himself capable of trading some liveries.
Well, someone that doesn't think it's over yet is Ogrodnikov, Dan, who I think is on a charge now to try and get to Essa as fast as he can. The gap is 3 seconds. Let's see if he's able to close that gap down. Ogrodnikov currently 0.2 of a second up on his time. Here we go. Here comes the replay of the overtake. Our producer totally on the ball as we watch Ietzi over here under pressure from Adam once again. But we're going to quickly watch the replay over here. And here is the replay. This is down towards Eau Rouge now, and then they go up Eau Rouge, as mentioned early on, right?
It's a simple lift, isn't it? It's a lift up the Camel Straight and just think, no, you know what? You can have it. I'll tuck behind you, and you're never going to get 5 seconds ahead of me. Yeah,
exactly. Just breathes off the throttle there. And if we can go back to the action, we got Adam and Ietzi still fighting it out further back. The fight continues as Adam constantly tries to get the undercut on Ietzi there, but just not able to do so.
So I'm just wondering, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. There's producers will be working on this, looking up we can see Adam's still having another look, isn't he? But the championship standings between Esther and Spears is going to be so close now, isn't it? With a 1-2 here. I mean, it's going to be almost matching on points.
Yeah, my brain hurts when I think about this whole drop-down situation because I tried to work it out. But the championship only really becomes the championship after 3 rounds, doesn't it? Anything other than a 3-round championship is a tournament. So these guys are now at the stage of the championship where the points start to matter and the rules aren't made up, as they say, on whose line is it anyways. Essa will want to win this one. All of these guys will want to get maximum points. And for those that had terrible rounds, it's complicated because certain rounds we've seen guys with bad rounds still get the fastest lap time, get that extra point. So when do you drop a round? It's going to get complicated in this multiple round championship.
I'm looking at who's got the fastest lap time here. I thought it was Ogrodnikov, who's just got a massive amount of pace, and it was his last lap as well, 1:18 flat. If you go down, it's Apple in 11th position with a 2:18.017, I believe.
Overlinen's got a 2:17.9 now. He's just got that in 16th position.
So Overlinen's going to get himself fastest lap of the race from 16th place.
So what does that mean? Does he still drop the round even though he's got the fastest lap?
No, I think that point goes towards this round. So yeah, but what it does do is it takes that fastest lap away from the leaders, doesn't it?
Yes, 100%, Dan. I missed that one over there. And yeah, it's the sugar we spoke about earlier on. 100% right. He's not just getting the point for himself, he's taking it off the table for one of his competitors.
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, at one point at the end of the season could mean everything. Because Tariq Adams is running out of time here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. And I mean, how many chances is he going to have? Or look, he's going to look up the inside of the bus stop, surely, to come through Franchorchamps.
Well, Ogrodnikov is 2.5 seconds behind Essa now, so he is closing the gap.
If he goes really defensive here, Itzy, and then you're going to get the cut back. Oh, there's contact there. Very slight contact between Adams and Itzy. But he's doing what he needs to do, the Italian. I mean, that's a flipping wide Mercedes he's got right now.
I'm beginning to wonder if Adam thinks that Itzy might have gone into the body shop and have a couple of panels fitted on the side of that Mercedes-Benz
wheel arches.
Yeah, I think he's got the GTR edition. I think
he's got the Liberty Walk wide body kit on
Liberty Walk. Exactly. He's got the Liberty Walk kit going on there. Adam, however, not so much. Adam thought to himself, you know what, I'm going for a slightly more conservative look, but now he wishes he also had that kit on there, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we're running out of time, aren't we? 2 minutes to go. I mean, an hour is just absolutely flash past. It's been an absolutely exceptional race. So I just want to remind ourselves what we've got to look forward to. We've got Nürburgring GT in round 4, another fantastic circuit, similar to what we've got here. And then Suzuka. So, if you're good at Spa, you're going to be pretty damn good at Nürburgring and Suzuka, I would have thought. It's one of those, and you want to get all of your results done before round 6, because the big sort of elephant in the room is finishing at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, for round 6. And I want my points in the bag by then, to be honest. Yeah,
because that's the riskiest circuit at the riskiest point in the championship, isn't it? The drivers are going to be having something to prove, and that's not where you want to go with a chip on your shoulder, where most of these drivers will more than likely have more than a giant bag of chips on their shoulders.
Yeah, you're going to get more than a few 5-second penalties there, I think. You get a few roadblocks happening at Bathurst. We saw it earlier on in the GT7 league, because they've already done Bathurst, haven't they? The Gran Turismo guys for us, ATK Pro Series, have already went through there, and we had an incident up the mountain. So we're going to get another one in ACC round 6 to get your points on the board, people, before you do it. And S is going to do just that as he comes round. Will he do another lap, or will this be the final lap of the race, as we've got 20 seconds to go? Yeah,
S is probably going to make that finish line for another lap. Ogrodnikov chasing him down the gap now, 2 seconds. But I'm not sure if Ogrodnikov will have done enough. Both cars slowing down. Lap leaders on the final lap. We get that through our comms here. And there goes the cars that ZA car of Zaire Essa in first place. Currently the leader, Ogrodnikov in second. Spears looking on. Schaefer behind that. Ietzi and Adams still going at it.
Yeah, Ogrodnikov has been immense in the second session of the race, I have to say. The pace has been exceptional. We sort of advised him to sit behind Schaefer and Spears, but he thought nothing of it. And it was quite rightly so as well, because he's got ahead, and now I'm just looking. He's going to be very close to taking 4th with his penalty, but that is such an expensive penalty. 5 seconds sounds like absolute nothing, but it's the difference between talking to us and not, basically. Yeah, which is a shame, because I'd love to have a conversation with him.
Yeah, today is definitely a day where 5 seconds is a little bit more than what it sounds like, a little bit more than the sum of its parts. The results at the end of the day is, 5 seconds in your 24-hour day doesn't sound like a lot of time, but today it means the world to these guys. And at the moment, the strategy has not paid off as much as it could. But look at Ogrodnikov's pace, though, as he's pushing hard to try and get away. He's got clear in front of him. He might still get 3rd position, Dan. Ogrodnikov might still get 3rd position.
I don't think so. Spears 1.3, 1.5 seconds behind. We saw him let him past. He'll be knowing that there's no way you can get more than 5 seconds behind.
Schaefer, though, is the one I'm thinking about. Schaefer, though,
Schaefer in 4th. Yeah, he's fighting for 4th, isn't he? Is what Ogrodnikov is doing. Schaefer's desperately trying to make sure he's in that 5-second window.
Exactly. So I think, Dan, he's going to get 3rd, potentially, but Schaefer is the one that needs to do something now. Schaefer now chasing on. His time slowing down. He's got a 2:18 to his best. His last time at 2:19.385.
He's still got a second, hasn't he? Schaefer's got a second in it, I think. He should be clear by a second. He definitely got 4th, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, Schaefer's definitely got fourth, but I don't think he's got third. We're going to find out soon enough as they now make their way towards the finish line. Ogorognikov really, really close within striking distance, but the man of the moment, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is the Cars.co.za car. It is Zahir Essa. It is your Pro Series champion from a few seasons ago, and once again, he gets the win, gets first place, does Zahir Essa. In second place is Ogorognikov. Spears gets third place. Schaefer gets fourth. And it does look like the order will stay the same. Spears will get third place. Ogorognikov with that 5-second penalty. It looks like the penalties haven't been tallied up yet. We wait for those penalties to get tallied up for the official result. But we'll be right back after this, folks. We're going to cut to a commercial break shortly and bring you back all those results and some interviews after this.
Welcome to Africa's first ROG arena. Woo!
Well, there you have it, folks. A familiar name at the top of the podium. Zahir Essa back on top after finishing in fourth place at the previous round, but this time managing to get first place. Harry Spears there in second position, and Harry Spears with some consistent performances, getting a win before, getting pole today, and still managing to get second position over there. And we've now confirmed that Schaefer is in fact your third place man, thanks to a penalty we've seen early on. But Schaefer, though, not afraid of pushing the pace. We spoke about him briefly, Dan, before, saying that he could be one of the guys to watch, and turns out that was indeed the case.
Yeah, somehow he caught the eye of our producer, and it was quite valid as well, wasn't it? Getting himself onto the podium here at Spa-Francorchamps. But I mean, what a race that was. Absolutely epic. I think the best one we've seen here at the ATK Pro Series, with that epic battle between Essa and Spears at the start. Spears dropping down to fourth position and working his way back up into second. All sorts of action throughout the field. I fear we've missed a lot at the back end that we're going to have to hear a lot about in Discord, but I'll have a bit more of that, please, as we go into the second half of this.
Yeah, exactly. Robin Schaefer is ready to chat to us, I've been told, and I'd love to hear from him. Robin Schaefer in the chat. Welcome to the podium, Robin. My name is Otis Page. You might have heard my voice on the commentary, but we've never heard yours, so congratulations on the podium here at the ATK Pro Series.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Was very tight and close.
So what made it tight and close from your side? We know that you've got extensive experience, and our producer actually told me to watch out for that Schaefer guy because he's going to be up there today. What changed today? Why were you able to be in the mix and fight in the top 3 today?
Yeah, I think the preparation was really good at all, and I had a very good race pace. I knew it, and I got a quite good start. So yeah.
And I mean, we saw that top 6 or 7 guys, you were just switching places all over the place. And Ogonkov got himself a 5-second penalty, which was what you needed in the end to get that podium. So well done. As we go into the next round, have you got the same sort of pace as we work our way to the Nürburgring in round 4?
Yeah, I hope so. I quite like the Nürburgring. So maybe it's possible again to drive on the podium.
Awesome.
Yeah. Even checking your results here from some events, Nürburgring seems to be a good circuit, a circuit that you're happy with. But I gotta say, man, fantastic driving today. You guys really placed your vehicles in the correct spot. Some clean driving today. Are you finding your competitors some clean racing on circuit, or does it just look clean from the outside?
Didn't got the end of the question.
From your side, from your perspective inside the car, is the racing as tight as it looks?
Yeah, it's really tight. I don't like really much the Mercedes. I have to learn it at all, and try to really train it and go with it and adapt to it.
Well, it's definitely working, Robin. We appreciate you taking part in this event all the way from where are you exactly, Robin? Just to be clear.
From Germany.
All the way from Germany. We appreciate you taking part in the ATK Pro Series, and we look forward to chatting to you again in the future. Congratulations once again on your 3rd place. I'm sure this won't be the last podium this season.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome. There you go, folks. That was Robin Schaefer. And now we've got Harry Spears over there doing it for us one more time. Mr. Spears, how was that performance today? Yes, you guys were swapping positions there a little bit, eh?
Yeah, it's a bit all over the place, especially completely different to last round where I sort of ran away with it. It was, it's a bit of a tough one, really, because they had the pace of qualifying to get pole. And then it all sort of fell away in the race because I made some last-minute setup changes this morning that made the setup a lot more stable. And I forgot to save them without actually realising it.
Oh.
I just knew, like, the moment I went over Radion for the first time on that one, I was just like, yeah, I've got to save them.
What I would say, Harry, is you featured through, I mean, the first half of this race was just absolutely epic, your battle with Essa, and then you obviously sort of dropped back a little bit. But I mean, you want to go back and watch the stream because we've got a Harry Spears appreciation fan club mounting, both in the chat, and I'm selling t-shirts apparently next round.
Led by Daniel Haynes.
But how was that battle with Essa? I mean, you had multiple laps going side by side through Le Comp.
Yeah, that was it was a really great battle actually, because I was my plan was, since I got pole, I thought I'd try and do my fuel saving early on because I calculated I needed about between 8 to 10 laps of fuel saving, going map 2, which loses you about half a second a lap. So I thought if I've gone pole, I might as well just go map 2 and defend early on. But then obviously that lives in my straight line speed quite a lot. But obviously Essa's such a great driver, you just know you can have a good battle with them. They're going to be nice and clean and fair. And obviously it was a really great battle.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing the rest of the season unfold. Dan, I'm sure you can agree, we've got a star-studded grid here, and also nice to see that it's not going to just go anybody's way specifically.
No, it's super, super close, Harry, and we were both praising you for letting Ogonkov go because he had his 5-second penalty. So obviously you plan just to drop behind him and then cash in your points?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I won in SR America a few weeks ago, I did that with another driver because he had a 5-second penalty. So I was like, there's no point in me losing time defending to them.
Very mature driving, I think.
Yeah, I think you've got some new fans in the commentary booth. I'm not going to mention the tall guy's name with the British accent, but well done either way, Harry Spears. We look forward to seeing you surely mixing it at the front of the pack at the next round, and hopefully you start getting those Nürburgring lap times in time for round number 4.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, chat to you soon. That was Harry Spears, led for a while, swapped positions for a while, had himself a ding-dong race, and then eventually got usurped with some fantastic driving from our winner here in the end. Zahir Essa takes it. Zahir just joins us now. Zahir, those times when you guys were swapping positions like that, could you walk us through that? Because from where we were sitting, it looked incredibly tight and close.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks. First win for Koza.
Yes, well done, well done.
Yeah, that was a very tricky race because we were managing tires, managing fuel, and on top of that, managing a freaking crazy battle. So I know Harry's very good. He's a very fair driver, so it was actually it was fun battling with him. And the other
we
guys.
made that comment on stream, Essa. I mean, we watched you both for multiple laps, going side by side through multiple corners at the end of Camel Straight, and it was epic to watch. You want to go back and watch it, but I mean, clean, fair driving, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think for the first few laps, I could see he was a bit slower. And when I chatted to him after the race, I see he was saving fuel at that point in the race. And I didn't want to overtake him initially. I wanted to just break away from the guys behind. But they started catching, and I said, okay, enough's enough. I need to just pull the trigger and go. And then once I got past him, I ran for about half the race and then saved fuel towards the end.
I love these insights, Zahir, because we make our assumptions watching on, but it's nice to hear it from the horse's mouth. So you guys have different strategies here. We've always talked about the tires going on and off, but it does seem to be that the driving styles matter even in the same car, and the setup matters even in the same car.
Yes, it seems Mercedes is very tricky to set up. You go click on the setup this way or that way, and it just it deteriorates in that direction over the race stint. So it's very tricky, and you got to constantly adapt throughout the race. But the setup felt good. It felt very good. We got thrown a bit of a curveball with the temperatures being a lot lower than the practice server. So I thought maybe the setup wouldn't be 100%, but it was all good. Yeah, made some small changes before the race, and yeah, thankfully they worked out.
Dan, any closing statements from you before we let our winner from the Cars That's Here at Z8 team, Zahir Essa, go?
No, I just think it's so close. I'd like to see the championship standings between you two, because it must be absolutely neck and neck. We're at the halfway point. We're going on to Nürburgring. How you feel your chances there, Zahir?
I haven't even looked at it yet. My schedule is so busy. Look, it's a high downforce track. It's a popular track, so hopefully, I know it quite well. Everyone does. That's the problem. So to get a bit of extra, might need a bit of extra work, but let's see how it goes.
Well, congratulations is in order for Zahir Essa. The Cars That's Here at Z8 car crosses the line first, and that backs up the win that you guys got at the GR event a couple of weeks ago. So well done to the team, and an incredible performance from you once again, Zahir. Congratulations from all of us here at the ATK Pro Series.
Yes, guys. Bye-bye.
Well, folks, there you have it. And if you look on your screen, you won't just see the winners, you'll also see the sponsors over there. We got Puma, Motorsport South Africa, Coach Dave Academy Africa, Race Together, Kyle Army 9 Hour, SAGT, and of course, SIMGRID, making all of this possible. And a big headliner in the ATK Pro Series, Mercedes-Benz. But at the moment, in a Mercedes-Benz, there's only one headliner at the top of the standings, and that is Zahir Essa.
Yeah, that's the points, obviously, just for this round. 105 points takes, and 99 for Harry Spears in second. I want to see the championship standings more than the race standings. I don't want to put too much pressure on our producers, but I think he has got it ready for us, so he'll bring it up now. And then we'll see. Here we go. Oh, look how close. 3 points in it. So Spears went into this as the leader, and Esses clutched it back with only 3 points as they go into the
And look at third and fourth position. We saw them battling it out on circuit. Tariq Adam and Simone Ietzi, not just racing on track, but also racing on the championship standings.
Yeah, so close. So we've got a battle for the top two and a battle third and fourth. But so much can change as we go into our what effectively could be called a midsummer's break, because we've got a 3-week gap until we get to the
goodness. 3 whole weeks.
Yes.
3 whole weeks.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be
if we could just go back to those championship standings, the top 10, I just want to have another look at that. And there you see Philip Bernard in 5th place. It really is about consistency. Robin Schaefer now suddenly finds himself injected into that conversation over there in 6th place. Joris Appel, although falling back, still in 7th. And Morgan McCall now finally in the top 10 solidly, just in front of Ogorognikov and Jacobs.
Yeah, and obviously this doesn't reflect a drop round, so that's all going to get... There's still so much to play. We're only 3 rounds in, and really anyone could make a run for the second half of this season. It's turning out to be an absolute classic. That was a classic race.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
really
the best race I've seen today.
Yeah, I might watch that one back a couple times and see exactly what happened there, because it's always so confusing when so many things happen. But tomorrow I would have forgotten who went where. I'll just remember that Zahir ended up at the top of the podium once again.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of the Safra versus the Brit in commentary and on track for the rest of this season. You don't want to miss it. We've got 3 more rounds to go, Guy. We're only at the halfway stage.
Oh, yes, indeed, folks. And that's it from us here as we wrap up the ATK Pro Series powered by Mercedes-Benz. My name is Ernest Page, joined by Dan the Man Haynes in the commentary booth. And if this wasn't the most exciting sim racing you've seen in recent times, then I don't know, you've got to maybe turn the volume up, get a bit closer to the screen, because in my mind, this was some incredibly exciting and tight racing. We look forward to a long rest of the season with much, much more excitement to come. We're only halfway, folks. And as mentioned, we'll see you guys at the next round at the Nürburgring. Better buckle up and get ready, because that one is going to be a big one. We'll see you guys at the next round.
Welcome to Africa's first ROG arena.
Woo!